Which fictional character's death have you not gotten over? Guess I'm getting too old. Littlefoot Momulo. Probably the saddest kids movie death ever. It was way too much. I felt like I lost my own mom that day. Mike from Breaking Bad. Involved in a bad life but the love for his granddaughter. Heartbreaking. Remus Lupin and Nymphadora Tonks. They deserved a good life. Boromir. When I first watched LOTR, I couldn't have cared less when Boromir died. He was arrogant, not as cool as anyone else, and dangerously drawn to the ring. However, as I've gotten older, I find myself connecting with Boromir more with every watch. He clearly cares deeply for the other members of the Fellowship. Unfortunately, he also feels the weight of responsibility for his people, and the pressure from his father. The ring fed into that tortuous quandary, and nearly drove him mad. The scene where he comes to his senses after driving Frodo off is heartbreaking now. So horrified at what he'd done. So vulnerable, so human, and despite believing that he had doomed the world, he threw himself into protecting that which he could still reach. The other hobbits, everything he had, including his life, and his last moments with Aragorn. Oof, the love and pride that bursts from him. Boromir is a great character. Leslie Burke from Bridge to Terabithia. Brooks from The Shawshank Redemption. What was his name? Wash, the pilot in Firefly. Man, duck this thread. Keeps reading. Mordin Solace. Had to be me. Someone else might have gotten it wrong. Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy. My horse in Red Dead 2. Rest in peace, Ivory. Fred Weasley from Harry Potter, and Greed from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. David Tennant as Doctor Who. I don't want to go. I loved Matt Smith too, don't get me wrong, but I still shed a few tears anytime I watch that episode. Hughes from Fullmetal Alchemist. I really liked him. His Japanese VA apparently also died from cancer this year. Peter from What We Do in the Shadows. Grandma Coco from the Disney movie Coco. That film got me weeping from start to end. Sirius Black. He lived in an abusive household for almost 17 years, then fought dark wizards for a few years, then put in Azkaban, without a trial, and accusing him of associating with his abusive family he ran away from and killing the family he ran towards, and tormented with dementors for 12 years. 1 year of reliving his worst memories and then bam, dies. He deserved a good life. The dogs in Where the Red Fern Grows. Tadashi Hamada from Big Hero 6. I literally cried. Luten, Uncle Iroh's son, Avatar: The Last Airbender. While we didn't see his death firsthand, I felt like I was mourning a son of my own when Aaron sang that song. Still tears me up. More than John Coffey, less than from The Green Mile. Lenny from Of Mice and Men. Tell me about the rabbits, George. Anyone seen Grave of the Fireflies? At the moment, Bobby Singer. There are, and surprisingly, lots of Games of Thrones characters already posted on here. I've posted this before, but Hodder still gets me. Edit. Thanks for my very first award. The Forest Spirit from Princess Mononoke. Spike Spiegel. See you, Space Cowboy. The Dog and I Am Legend. Absolutely heartbreaking to watch that scene. Arthur Morgan's death really took a toll on me. You spend half of the game knowing what's to come, dreading it, simultaneously watching this badass killer trying to right his wrongs and save his family, only to be betrayed by half of them in the end. Rockstar broke my heart. Charlie from Lost. But hey, it's not Penny's boat. Finnick was the saddest death in the Hunger Games. George from Halo Reach. He sacrificed himself by blowing up the Covenant supercarrier, thinking his actions saved Reach. Then moments later the whole Covenant armada appears out of slip space to eventually burn the planet he loved to much to glass. Alexi from Stranger Things. Palsy Washington from Orange Is the New Black. Winifred Burkle, Angel, Logan. Cade 6 I'm Coming Home Ace. Duchess Satine from the Clone Wars. She was this close from escaping and she was mercilessly killed for the sole purpose of hurting Obi-Wan. It hurts more when you watch it a second time. Herschel's from The Walking Dead. Catelyn Stark from GOT. No one has to tell me how terrible and quickly that show plummeted in quality, but the first 4 seasons were top tier television. Catelyn died thinking her youngest sons, Bran and Rickon, were burned alive. Thinking her daughter Arya was missing, presumed dead. That her other daughter Sansa was forever to be held captive by her family's killers. And witnessed her eldest son, daughter-in-law, and unborn grandchild all die in front of her gruesomely. Her expression the last few moments of the episode are haunting. She doesn't plead anymore. She isn't weeping. She is barely even breathing. She is empty, just a vessel waiting for her demise while staring at the lifeless body of her son. Jason Grace from Heroes of Olympus. Kaki Oin from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Leon the Professional. Not sure if any of y'all have read Artemis Fowl, but Julius Root's death still gets me. Han Solo. I think that is why I hated the 7th movie, not really anymore. Corey from Your Lie in April. George O'Malley from Grey's Anatomy. Kelsier from the Mistborn trilogy. He was my favorite character and I really did not expect his death. I was waiting for him to come back, because I really could not believe that he was indeed dead. I wanted to continue the trilogy after the first book, but missed Kelsier too much. A few years later I finally finished the 2nd and 3rd book and have to say, they were great, even without him. Brandon Sanderson just did a really good job with this series. Cedric Diggory. That poor lad hardly did anything to be killed, nor did he get any time to defend. He could have at least got a bit of fighting to do, but instead Voldemort and Peter come and just say kill the spare, and next moment Cedric is dead. He didn't deserve this type death. Seymour from Futurama. Still traumatized from the original air date. Lee from The Walking Dead Telltale series. Portgas Diaz. I wasn't even into the series when he died, but I'm still grieving my favorite character, especially with all the flashbacks we're getting now. That robot whose name I forgot from Rogue One. Aunt May from the Spider-Man, the PS4 game. Nina from Full Metal Alchemist. I still have a massive amount of hatred for her piss poor father. One of those endings of Nier Automata, man. I didn't need to see all of them go like that, damn. Commodore James Norrington from Pirates of the Caribbean. One of the best character arcs of any film, and they just killed him for trying to be the good guy. I still can't watch the 3rd movie for how badly they ruined his character. Colonel Blake from the TV series MASH. It was the first time I had been genuinely shocked at a character's death and led to me learning the concept of suspension of disbelief. Since then, if a character dies, oh well. Ash Ketchum in the first Pokemon movie. I know he doesn't actually die, but I still cry every time. Eponine. I weep in the shower when I think about her taking a bullet for Marius. I think her story of unrequited love is relatable and tragic. She was selfless and smart and courageous. Who is chopping onions in my room? Sayori from Doki Doki. It was out of nowhere. It is something that truly happens, and it really shows you the truth to the game. Amber from House MD. That episode traumatized me. The MCU's Quicksilver. It was OSP's trope talk on plot twists that really drove this one home for me. If Pietro survives Age of Ultron and sides with Iron Man in Civil War, it's the first time he and his sister have been on opposite sides. If he survives the snap, it's the first time he's been separated from Wanda. During the 5 years between the snap and Tony's death, there are no active supers on the planet. Hawkeye is dealing with the loss of his family in his own way, but perhaps Pietro is doing for Earth what Captain Marvel is doing for the rest of the galaxy. Maybe Quicksilver and Hawkeye even come into conflict over Clint's methods. When the snap is reversed, there's now 5 years difference between these twins. For those who want to see the video, you can see the bit here. The relevant part is at 1549. TLDR. There were so many missed opportunities if Quicksilver didn't die. Lady Sybil Crawley on Downton Abbey. I still think about it and get sad. So unnecessary. She was the best character. Soccer. Me. New series starts, that means more soccer. Yay. Me after watching Legend of Korra realizing Sokka died off screen. Bruh. Galahad from Kingsman. The Secret Service. Very sudden and unexpected. Mike from Breaking Bad, and also Pousey from OITNBA. Hodder. That last episode that explained everything for him ducked me up. I cried during it and cried after. Like that's only happened to me twice with fictional characters. Anto Jones from Torchwood. Just why? Carmina. I will always believe in the him that believes in me. Leslie in Bridge to Terabithia. Troy leaving Community. I know he didn't die, but he absolutely would trying to sail around the world with no training.